Okay, looks like we might be up and going. I think everything is working. Hopefully it is. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, no, that ain't what I'm looking for. There we go. Touch there. Get all my little stuff. Well, hello, Adrian. How you doing? Thanks for coming in, buddy. And there's Neil. How you doing, Neil? I hope you're avoiding the ice storm in your area. I don't know if it's got up to you yet, but I know those things are a pain in the ass. I I know what that's like. I've almost yeah, these are pretty good little scissors. I've almost forgot how it is from living out here in Arizona in the desert. We don't get them things out here. Very seldom get any rain at all, much less ice. We did get some snow. Of course, we get snow over on the mountains all the time, but yeah, it's a long ass ways from where I live, and it's 7,000 feet up in the air. But it did snow here of what you would call a good snow at my house once in 12 years, and of course it was gone almost the next day completely. And in a couple of days it was totally gone. So it was no big deal. And it was just snow. It wasn't ice. And that ice is a pain in the ass. Now, I have lived through some ice storms in Texas and in Kentucky. The worst was in Kentucky. So we was out of power for 2 weeks. I was glad I had a generator. But yeah, the ice is, man, it tears shit up. Destroys the power lines. The trees will fall over on them. Sometimes they'll just fall down from the weight of themselves, or the ice collects on the trees and then falls over on top of them and knocks them down. It's a mess. It really is a mess. I'd much prefer just snow. But yeah, I do know what it's like. I've almost forgot about it, but you know. Of course, the people in Texas right now, the ones down in South Texas where it don't even hardly ever snow, much less ice, are they're really the ones hurting the worst because, you know, they don't have a clue how to drive on it. They're not prepared for it in any form or fashion. The road department, the state road department is not prepared for it. And there's Andrew. How you doing, buddy? And it's really a mess. Kentucky wasn't too bad because they had snow plows. I mean, they had snow plows. They had, in the trucks they had the snow plows on were the little short dump trucks that was full of salt, and as they would plow the snow and whatnot off, they would spread the salt behind them, and I mean, they had a whole fleet of them, and they was prepared for it. But yeah, the southern part of Texas, they're not prepared for this kind of stuff at all. Yeah, that's what I would do in Kentucky. And believe it or not, they got out there, and I mean they were flat on the ball. Uh, and of course, and everybody, it was fine if you were a little bit late to work when it snowed. Nobody said nothing about it. Everybody was cool about it because that's all you did was you just waited. You kind of knew in your area that you lived in when the snowplow would be by. You waited till they come by, and they were out early. I mean, they were out before dawn plowing the main roads. And you just waited till the snowplow come by, and then you went on to work. And everybody was cool with it. All the employers, they were all cool with it. Well, hello, Josh. Thanks for coming by, buddy. And you didn't get in trouble or anything because you was late. They were just. Now they did expect you to come in. If you could be late, waiting on the snowplow to come by, and that was just perfectly all right. But they did expect you to come in. They didn't accept that as an excuse to be off all day. They just, expected you to be a little bit late. So, and most people up there knew how to drive on it, didn't have a problem with it. I mean, I learned how to drive on it for what little snow and ice we got there in Texas when I was a kid, because we'd go out and play on it. And we got good at driving on it because we were playing, and so, I know it's not really a good thing to say, but that's what we did, and we got good at driving on it. Now, believe it or not, out here, in the middle of the desert, when it does rain, if you live kind of like I do, I live basically 2 miles off the pavement, down dirt roads. They're not gravel, they're sand and a little bit of rock, sand and a little bit of gravel, mostly sand. But out here now, it is excusable if when it does rain, because it rains very, very seldom, they don't, the road is the drainage ditch, the dirt road, because they've let them get away with it. And so it washes the road out, or it goes across the road, or the water goes down the road. And of course, it never rains like it does in your part of the country, where it like rain 2 inches and more than 2 inches in one storm. Now, I don't never do that out here, So basically, if it say rains pretty heavy and they call them washes, we would call them, I don't know, drainage ditches or creeks or something like that in other parts of the country. But anyhow, if the water gets over the road, you wait 30 minutes, or the most an hour, because as soon as it stops raining, the water starts dropping where it's running across, and it'll get pretty deep where it runs across or runs down the road. It'll get to where you don't really wouldn't want to drive through it. But you wait 20, 30 minutes and it's all gone. It ran off and it's gone. And then if the road's not severely washed out, well, you can go ahead and make it then. And it is acceptable out here to say, well, I couldn't make it, to work today if my road's washed out, after a pretty good, what they classify out here as a good rainstorm, and that's cool with people out here. Yeah, it sounds like they were just some real assholes, Neil. That's what it sounds like. But I had kind of the same situation to a degree back when I was in high school, because I was late to school a couple of times, like 5 minutes late. Well, the third time I was late, well, they wanted to suspend me. And the hell of it was, I could have stayed out all day, come in the next day with a note saying I was sick, and everything would have been cool. Okay, everything would have been fine. But I went ahead and came to school and was penalized because I was 5 minutes late and got this hellacious penalty, when if I'd have stayed out the whole damn day and just brought in a little note, everything would have been cool. Now, it wants you to, and you wonder why people go postal and go psycho. It's because of shit like that. It's completely unjustified. Oh, well, I don't see, Josh. I don't. I guess you're talking about the little, excuse me, the little, I guess post or whatever you want to call it, that shows my live stream advertisement's going to happen. I assume you're talking about that. I don't never see that. I was late this week posting it. I didn't do it till this morning. Oh, you're talking about that. Well, see, mine's still orange. When you tagged me there, mine is still bright orange on that. I thought you were talking about the little deal. Every now and then, I just make sure it's still doing it. I have to change, because I've got 3 YouTube channels now. I just change accounts and go to a different channel, and I've of course subscribed to all my channels to see it, but I can't see it on my channel. Shows up in gray. No, mine's still bright orange on a tag. Because it wouldn't put it past me that, and half of that kind of shit is just somebody justifying their job. It's like, well, what did you do this week for the company? Oh, I changed the tags from orange to gray. Yeah, that's what I did. Wow. And if you're a programmer, that took you all of 2 seconds. I mean, come on. Oh, yours is gray too, Adrian? Al? Well, mine just, YouTube, either on my computer or my phone, either one, auto updates. Totally. I don't even never know when it does it. But I know they don't do all that shit at one time, at once. But yeah, not everybody sometimes gets updated at the same time. Oh, my sinuses are messing up. You can tell it's wintertime. My sinus has been giving me fits for a week or so now. I should just blame it on COVID. That's what I ought to do. Well, like I know last night, because when I watch another show, I usually watch it on the big screen, and if I'm on chat, I do that on my phone. Mine was still orange on my phone. It's Android last night, but yeah, it's like a lot of times if I got shit working right, I'd leave it alone as long as I can. It's just like today when I fired up OBS, it wanted to update. I said, no, remind me later, go away. Because they're just as bad as, of course, it's an open source deal, so you can expect a jillion updates on it. But, for what I use it for, it's not broke. I'm happy because 9 times out of 10, if you update, a lot of times it'll wipe all your settings, your audio, your video settings off. It'll wipe them, and you got to go back and reset all that shit. And it's a total pain in the ass, and you're not expecting it, you don't even know it's done it, till you try to go live. And yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, mine's still orange at the moment. It might go gray at any time. Of course, now what is your what's the background color on your chat, Josh? The very, very background. Yeah, it's black. Yeah, mine is too. So I went to a black background for almost everything if it gives me the option. See, right now, let's see. Well, you know what? Let me see. Look real close. See, on my chat, everybody's name is gray. It's not blocked. It's just, it don't have the highlight block, but it's gray. And then the actual words that you're typing in are white. Is what I got at the moment. And this is on my computer, so. Hey, Angel, how you doing, buddy? I sure hope you ain't in one of them states that's getting iced over at the moment. Thanks for coming in. All right, Andrew. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. Angel, have you had any contact with Chuck? Is he going to have a show tonight? Do you think? Has he still got electricity? Well, that's actually, that's not a good place to be in the winter, but it's probably better than Texas at the moment. Or Arkansas, either one, or Oklahoma, as far as that goes. You always go way up north. You have to get you some southern roots, man. Just, little short hauls from LA to Phoenix and Neil, I got one squonker and what the hell was the name of that? One, it was a clone, but I got one RDA that had a squonk pin. The Velocity, the old original Velocity was clone, but still. And I still got a squonk mod. It still works, I think, unless the bottle has disintegrated. But yeah, I did have one and used it way back in the day, years and years ago. No money in the South. Oh, come on now. And my chair. There we go. Get my chair to where to go back. Oh. And I never was a fan of dripping. That just didn't. I don't know. It didn't appeal to me, I guess. Of course, never really did do mouth to lung a lot, but direct lung a lot. I didn't really do that, but I just never did. I think I own one some kind of, Chinese dripper RDA. Unless you count that Velocity. I guess you count that Velocity as an RDA. But that's the only ones I ever had. Just never did get into that part of it. Luckily too, because that's a rabbit hole too. It ain't a very expensive rabbit hole, but there's some, but it is a rabbit hole. Yeah, if I was going to use them, I'd have to squonk because I'm too damn lazy to drip every 3 or 4 puffs. Now I did look up that I was looking because it finally came out on the pre-order came out on 3F for that Meson AIO that we were discussing last week, I think. Didn't look like too bad a deal, and I found it awful strange. I can find 3 videos on it. One of them is like the video from Steam Crave, the people that made it, just like an introduction thing, not a really well-made video in my opinion either. But the 2 other ones were from people that I don't think they were actually sent the device for review. I think they bought it, or one guy was had it sent to him from a vape shop, not Steam Crave. Found that kind of strange. Now the price point that 3F had, I think, was like either $85 or $89, something like that. Not too bad a price point for what you get. If you get the tank with the extra top part, plus you get 2 lower decks, a mesh and a regular lower deck. Yeah, that was one of the videos I saw. Neil was Scuba's, and the other one was I forget the guy's name, but it was only 2 that my search brought up, and it was strange to me that they got it, and you know, nobody else had got one. So it was just kind of strange. Because Steam Crave, you know, they seem to give the popular reviewers, send them their stuff to review. I don't know. Just thought it was kind of weird. Yeah, that's true. Them and either was it DigiFlavor or GeekBabe, one of the other ones? Where's my thing? Maybe that's the same company. I don't know. Well, just DigiFlavor, I guess. They give you a whole bunch of stuff always. But it seemed like a pretty good deal. The only part I wish they'd have done different is because I have become, because of this this FEV here, I've really become a fan of the gravity feed deal, and I really wish they would have made that little RBA thing, especially the mesh one. I really wish they'd have made that gravity feed. I mean, you know, instead of bottom feed, or I mean, they might even call it side feed, but really it ain't. It's really bottom feed on the Wicked. Well, hello, Brett. How you doing? Thanks for coming in, buddy. Although I don't have and never have had a mesh device, I think the gravity feed is kind of the way to go on that, just by looking at the just the physics of the deal. I'm doing good, buddy. But it seemed like you got quite a bit in the package, and it kind of checked off most of the boxes for me, because you got quite a bit of stuff. I really would have liked to saw a tank that took some kind of normal throwaway coil. I would have liked to saw one of them in there. But maybe I'm pressing my luck, because they do give you 2 build decks. So, you know, you can't get carried away too much otherwise. And they give you an extra top, you know, but but like I say, it did check some of the boxes for me, because it is a 21700, a single 21700. So, you know, that's a pretty good deal. But and you got quite a bit of stuff, you know, for the, what was it, $84, $85, something like that. Let me look right quick. Now you got to be careful of it, of 3F, because sometimes some of that stuff ain't the kits you see reviewed. There was one, I forget what it was, but there was one kit that they had the other day, that if you watch the review on YouTube, it came with 2 tanks. I think a coil tank and then an RBA, and then but the kit that 3F advertised right first was only the disposable coil tank. Wasn't the RBA section. That was separate. Let's see. Now, any other day, that shit would have popped up instantly, front page, but today it don't, because I want it to. Ooh, they got a hot sale on their RBAs. Man, you can just go to town on them. There we go. Let's go this route here. Wow. $85.99. And they got the, for some reason, I guess if you wanted to just buy it, the RBA, and I hope it comes with both decks. The RBA is $40. Of course, it's a tank too. It's not just an RBA. It looks like it. Well, I'll say that now. I don't know for sure if it comes with both. No, it don't say that. Kind of the way I read it. Of course, I'm just really. Well, yeah, I get. It looks like it comes with both decks, but if the RBA tank is $40 and you get the whole damn thing for 85, that's a kind of pretty good deal. I still got my pulse. It ain't cracked yet. In fact, I changed the coil in it the other day, and it hadn't cracked yet. I think I'm just lucky. Yeah, it's a pre-order, Neil, and you know they can say what they want. Yeah, they say February 28th. Well, yeah, from from what I've seen, if you keep up with them, you can just basically add 2 weeks to that. Well, it's already February. We're past. No, we're not. Was that right? February 28th. Of course, I guess you got to include the Chinese New Year, but my God, that's a long ass time. Yeah. See, that's another thing. We discussed this here a while back. Uh, uh, of course, you can blame the Chinese New Year a little bit on the delay they got there, but they come out with a presentation video or whatever, send the samples to the reviewers or whatever, and then it's a whole damn month before you can just order something, because that's basically a whole month before they're really going to have it. Well, I don't like doing the pre-order thing. I just really don't. And that's a whole month. I'm going to cool off in that amount of time. If it was an impulse buy, I'm sorry. I'm going to cool off by then. And in the vape world, a month, there'll be 5 more different things come out before then. So, I mean, I understand their deal. I understand, try to build the hype and all that, but shit don't work on me. It does the opposite. Well, Brett, the way I understood it was you had a choice. You could go either way. You could go single coil or dual coil. It looked like Scuba had a little bit of trouble with his. Of course, he put 3mm coils in it, and I think he was having a little trouble with them shorting. But And I don't think all of his trouble was the coils shorting, because when I watched it, uh, every borrow device I got, uh, because that wasn't one of those on the flush nut on top. It wasn't one that was keyed that was keyed into the drip tip or whatever. It was just a normal 510 drip tip with O-rings. And when I watched him, when he put it back in the mod the very first time, he just kind of hand tightened up on the drip tip. Well, I ain't got one here that I could get away with that. It'd be too loose. I mean, I'd get ohm reading jumping, I'd get an open, I'd get, all kinds of shit. I had to tighten it down a little bit, tighten that flush nut down. I think that was a little bit his trouble at first. Now, I do think when he got the dead short deal, that was maybe his coils, either touching each other or touching the side of the deal. But the first trouble he encountered when he put it back together, I think, was because he didn't get the flush nut tight enough. Because, I mean, like I say, I don't have one here that I could have done. I could have tightened up like he did, and it worked. If it's knurled, or if it's got the little tangs that set into the flush nut, the drip tip does, then you can get it fairly, usually tight enough to work. But the way he did it with just the plain drip tip, yeah, I don't have anything that I can just tighten up like that and get away with. But that Nissan did look like a pretty good bargain. It seemed like, let me look here. It's shaped similar to this SUP box, the shape of the mod, and I think it was it Scuba, or was it the other guy that was complaining about the location of the button? It's similar to where it is on this SUP box, and I don't have no problem with it where it is there, but I think this one's a little lower than where that one's at, but it's real similar to the same location. I would still hit it with my middle finger. That's how I fire this one, and so I don't think I'd have trouble with that. I don't have the tank in this one. I took all the tank out and cleaned the coil and cleaned the tank out, and we had some house cleaning the other day, and I got 3 tanks and several RBA things laying over here that are dried out now. Just hadn't put them back together. Yeah, it's kind of got the same shape. It's got that egg shape, whatever you want to call it, teardrop. But it does look, it's got the same shape as the Boxer. Of course, the stubby is, well, hello, Mr. T from Canada. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping by. Nice to have you. I just can't go the price on a Boxer, Brett. I'm a cheap bastard. And I can't say I'm a fan for 3D printed stuff. I mean, it's fine, but when they start charging stab wood prices for 3D printed plastic, I'm out. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm out. I'm all about vaping on the cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. So that was one of the main things that got me uh, hooked on vaping 10 years ago, was how much cheaper it was than cigarettes. Hell, I would have, switched just for that fact alone. Uh, Once I figured out how much money I could save vaping over smoking, shit, that sold me right then. Didn't matter about the benefits to health and all that. Because back in them days, shit, if you DIY'd and rebuilt your own coils and all that kind of shit, well, hell, I was saving $300 a month. Back then, that was a car payment. You know, well, Mr. T, I have to say right now, as far as MTL, which there's a lot of them out there that are good, but as far as all around stuff, there's a whole bunch of MTLs out there that vape similar, but as far as all around use, I'm really liking this K-Fun X, and this is a clone, and it's the no name clone that 3F had. It's not SXKs, or they had another one. They had like 3 listed. When I bought this one, they had 3 listed, and 2 of them were known clone manufacturers, and the other one was totally no name. And that's the one I bought just to see, because I knew the other 2 were probably good, and I just wanted to see if this one was any good. And I really like this K-Fun X for MTL. And because I have used it, I'm still using it, and that shows you how much I like it, because I'm still using it. Now I would say, if you want to go the off the wall tank, because it's a goddamn long, give that small Fev a try. This is the big Fev, but I'm really liking it. And but get the small one. And especially if you're just going to do MTL, get the little small one. But you got to really kind of want it, because you can see it's a long fucker. So it ain't going to look too good on most of your stuff. Definitely not pocketable, I don't know, Brett. There's good reason to believe that. The one I got was the one that was what you would call a true clone, because it came in a cloned box with all the right markings on it and everything, just so that I think it's so retailers could buy it, set it on the counter, set it inside the little glass case with the in the box still, and it looked authentic. And if you didn't know any better, you could kind of pass it off as an authentic until they checked the the codes and shit on it, but you know, it wasn't because, you know, you get stuff from SXK, it comes in those plastic tubes most of the time. Well, you know, it's a clone, you know. And this one was actually boxed, what you would call boxed retail clone, because they had went to great extremes to copy the box and everything. Now, I ain't never had one of those Nevermores. I do think I've got one of the Berserker Mini V2s. I think I got one of those, and it's all right. Of course, when you're doing MTL, it's not such a big deal, but it didn't have a lot of juice capacity. Was the only downfall to it, but it vaped fine, especially the one I got. And it vaped fine. I think it depends on what town you're in, Brett, because, you know, I guarantee you, I got 2 local vape shops here in my little town, and I guarantee you, I'm the only person that walks in the damn place that even knows what the hell a clone is. I guarantee you. I mean, you know, but it's a small town, you know, not a whole bunch of people vape. 90% of them never even heard of clones. They don't know what YouTube is. They've never watched a vaping review, you know, and you can get away with it here without a problem. Well, hello, Steve. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. But the way it was packaged, I mean, unless the customer asked you, you wouldn't even have to lie. You know, you could just set it on the shelf and sell it, price it, sell it, you know, and unless the customer asked you if it was an authentic, you really wouldn't have to lie to them. You could just sell it as what it was, you know. I mean, yeah, it's kind of presenting itself as an authentic, but you know, you wouldn't have to actually lie to them. And I guarantee you, I'd be the only one that ever walked in there and asked, hey, is this an authentic? You know, I guarantee you, because, you know, that's just the way it is way out here in the middle of nowhere. Because a few times I go in there and just hang out a little while and just see what they got and look around and whatnot. The time I was there was quite a few customers came in. 90% disposables. That's all they were buying. That's all they cared about. One lady walked in and bought some coils and some juice. And the rest of them were disposables. You know. Yeah, Neil, it's not hard to do that. You know, it really not. That's not surprising. Hell, one time I walked in and, you know, was talking to the actual owner. Oh, that yeah. You know, Steve, I don't know for sure if I can't swear that it was real Ultim. It was SXK, you know, so, and they're kind of reputable. So I kind of believed them that it was Ultim. But yeah, that damn thing just disintegrated. Now, this new plastic, the PCTG. I don't know. It's the damn plastics have gotten to about like the I don't know how to say this right. Certain groups of people. The alphabet people. You got to rattle off half the damn alphabet. But no, it wasn't from menthol. It was from Red Hots, cinnamon Red Hots, buddy. That shit kills. That shit takes pain off, man. It's pretty bad. Yeah, PCTG. Really, yours is melting from that. See, now the one, believe it or not, the tank that came with the pulse, the tank that took the replaceable coils, the throwaway coils in the pulse. I've had Red Hots in it from day one. It ain't bothered it, ain't phased it a bit. And I think it's the PCTG stuff, but it hadn't phased it. But now, before that kind of plastic come along, if it was clear, it was definitely going to dissolve it. But it didn't. It worked okay in the black. I think they were supposed to be Delrin. The black tanks, Boros, rather, the black Boros, and I believe they were Delrin, and it worked fine in it. Didn't mess with it at all. But yeah, the cinnamon Red Hots, whew, that's some bad shit now as far as dealing with plastic. I've had a few others. Back in the day, there were quite a few flavors that would jack with the cheap plastic they had back in them days. Most of the pineapple would mess with it. A lot of the citrus stuff would mess with it. I even had a wild cherry flavoring from Flavor West that dissolved cheap plastic. But the bad thing about the Ultim, unless you actually have it analyzed, of course, Ultim's just a trademark name for whatever kind of plastic formulation it is. But it's real easy to color plastic, and the yellow coloring just, it was real easy to fake that. So whether it was real Ultim or not, you never knew. And I just assumed the tank I got was, but yeah, it left. But whatever I think it's the PCTG ABCDEFG tank plastic is, whatever came in the pulse is holding up just is great. I use it every day. That's usually what I especially early in the morning and late in the afternoon when I have my coffee. I vape the Red Hots with the coffee because to me it pairs up real good, and it's been working great. But it will do some weird shit to plastic. Let me show you. Oh. Now this, I got decent size. I think it's a 60 mil deal. I keep my quarts of flavoring in the freezer, and I just get out a little bit ever and keep on the shelf a little bit. But you see the color of this? And it used to be, well, you can't, not enough light in here, but it started off, it was clear, of course, and then it turned pink, and now it's turned this color. And it hadn't cracked or anything. It's still good and flexible. But yeah, that's what Red Hots does to whatever kind of plastic these juice bottles are made out of. I never had menthol cause a problem with any of my stuff because that was what I quit on. That also was a menthol tobacco because I used to smoke Marlboro menthols, and I quit on a menthol tobacco, and I never had it. I never had the menthol cause a problem. Oh yeah, but I've had them. Oh shit, those little old boy, those little cheap things. They were just basically. It wouldn't. I mean, I've had them not just crack, but just basically melt. you know. Well, you don't need much, Josh. You don't need much. And if you put too much, it of course it'll set you on fire because it's just like it's the red hot's like a cinnamon toothpick. It's not the cinnamon like in a cinnamon bun or cinnamon roll. It's the hot ass red hots. But yeah, you don't need much. And if you mix too much, it'll separate. Once you mix it, you let it set. If you do too much, uh, especially if you go a high VG, because I wouldn't recommend it anything if you're mixing it yourself. Uh, Anything less than 50-50 because it mixes with the PG fine. It's the VG it has a problem with. And if you go over, I don't have my recipe handy to give a percentage, but if you and it's not much. It's like I'm not sure you can even go as high as 10%. I'm thinking it's somewhere between 5 and 8. It'll stay suspended, but if you go any more, there's a point where the VG won't hold it, and it'll separate. If you just leave it set a little while, it'll separate out. But it doesn't take much at all. And you can mix just it and some sweetener, and you're good to go if you just want the red hot flavor. I wish I'd have got the glass ones, Brett, because this one, I think it's plastic. Yeah, I think it's plastic. This one being a clone, then that's the bad thing about clones. You don't ever know what the hell kind of plastic they're using. So, I don't want to chance it uh, if it's not the good plastic. And so I won't be putting the red hots in it. Yeah, you're right. You can. I've done that before on certain tanks. You they come out with the tank, and Fastech was really good about having the parts. And okay, here's the spares that you can get for it, and then by the time you need one, a lot of times, well, hell, you can't buy them no more. And yeah, I used to buy them up a bunch. I've got spare tanks on the shelf for a bunch of old RTAs. Probably never use them. Okay, Steve, thanks for dropping by, buddy. You're welcome anytime. Just come on back. And that was one of the downfalls about buying this K-Fun X clone, the one I bought. I didn't get no spare shit. I didn't get no. I mean, it had O-rings and whatnot, but there wasn't no spare tank at all. And that was kind of surprising, seeing how they went to the trouble of cloning the box and all that. You would have thought they'd have put that a little extra tank in there. But these are fairly protected, and I don't. As long as I don't dissolve it, I don't think I'll break it. Yeah, that's what I do, Brett. I keep the boxes. I'm to most of them, and I got a damn pile of them. And so that's where I keep the tanks and the O-rings and any other special stuff they came with, just to keep up with them. Because a little bag of O-rings, well, you'll end up with a whole box full of them, and if you don't label them, you know, it's hard to remember when you go back. They probably would on a lot of them, especially the ones that were one-to-one clones. You remember back in the day, they were actually advertised one-to-one back in the day, and most of the time those would work. Now I do have what was it I got into? Oh, them old Squape clones. Uh, they wouldn't even interchange amongst themselves because there'd be a little bit of difference. And well, Neil, I guess if you get used to that 3 and 6, and then bump up to 12, and of course with the pods, them little mesh coils, and they work really well. They work really well. And if you're not used to it, this what I got in this K-Fun X right now. This is a 24. Freebase. So I never did do the cutback thing. I never did. And I think there's, in this FEV, of course, it's just a single coil the way I got it built right now, but I think I got 18 in it. But it's a great big old Clapton coil. But yeah, only trouble I run into doing the high nick thing, where it really bothers me the most, is when I'm doing a video, a review, and I'm trying to really, I'm at the end after I get it built and all, and I'm really vaping it quite a bit. That's when it kind of kicks my ass, and I've threatened to make a lower nick juice to do the reviews with, but it wouldn't really be I don't know. To me, it really wouldn't be fair because, the more nick you add, it messes with the flavor. And, everybody, well, okay. I'm good with that because I like the high nick. But, the lower the nick, the better the flavor. And, I know what the high nick juice is supposed to taste like. So that's the reason I never have really mixed me up some lower nick and keep it on hand for the reviews. Yeah, Brett, that's the Boral rabbit hole. It's easy to fall down that fucker. I guarantee it is. But yeah, on my pods, I just put my normal 24 in there. It works good for me. Yeah, there's so many damn rabbit holes in this business. It's I have to basically just, my mouse hand, the one that clicks that buy button, I have to just kind of tied up here like this, ever so often. Because it's too easy to click that buy button. I wished I had just now, I guess, gotten into the Boral world because, most of my tanks are the old fashioned ones with the sliding glass door that I hate. And, all the shit I bought for them, all them years ago. I mean, the RBAs are great. I've got some really good RBAs that work fine. But, I have trouble getting back into it, you might say. But because now they got really nice tanks, for them. And I wished I would have invested my money, not got into it back in the day and waited and now got into it today. Because, the tanks like those Limelights and I forget the other brands, uh, are so much better than those damn sliding glass door ones. I've even the other day I got me some plastic doors with fill plugs to replace the glass doors, Yeah, Josh, you got to be a little, you got to watch yourself because you'll do the same thing people used to do when they smoked. I had a buddy smoked Marlboro Lights. He smoked 3 packs a day. I smoked 1 pack a day of Marlboro menthols, full flavor. He thought he was doing good because he was smoking lights, but hell, he was smoking 3 packs a day. And if you don't watch yourself, you can do the same thing with juice. If you're vaping 3 mils, well, hell, you'll burn through 30, 40 mils a day or more, and if you're vaping a high nic juice, you'll vape a lot less of it, and you kind of get in that same trap that people used to get into when they smoked. They'd smoke lights and they'd end up smoking twice as the amount if they'd been smoking full flavors. Do, 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 do. T, I think, what did I do? Let me look right quick on that Typhoon. I don't even remember which one, the latest one that I got. I got a bunch of real old ones, and they were okay. But I think I bought, what was the last one I bought? Let me look right quick. Kind of change the subject. That Aromomizer Classic MTL is pretty good. It vaped fine. It vaped great. What was the last Typhoon thing I had? I swore I had something. Yeah. Man, it's a long time ago. This must be a different one because the one I'm looking at is the Typhoon GTR. Maybe it's not the MTL version. But hell, that was 3 years ago. I don't think that's the same one you're talking about. But that was 3 years ago. And the one I got was definitely a clone. There's a lot of them out there now that are good. I mean, you know, unless somebody comes out with something just, you know, world changing, there's not going to be, you know, they've done about everything that you can do, you might say. I think I saw a review on that. I remember that name, the Cabello. If I remember right, I think I mean, I don't remember. It's older than the Hills. I don't even remember the name of it now. I think I have one, RDTA, I think. I don't see it right at the moment, but I think I actually had one. But it's old as the Hills. I don't even remember the name of it now. And I've got a few of the dwarves. I never was a huge fan of them. I mean, they vaped. I don't know. For some reason, I just wasn't a huge fan of them for some reason. I might, I might should go back and give them a second try. Hell, I got two or three of them, and you know the different kinds and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I got one of the kits, Brett, that had both styles. Everything was included in it. Hell, it was almost like three tanks in one little package. You know, on talking about the coils, Neil, what I've started doing and seems to be working pretty decent for me is even if it's an MTL tank, if I can, I have gotten to where I put a fairly big Clapton coil in it, not one made for MTL, but a regular single core Clapton coil, but a big one, and just big as I can get in there. And then I turn the uh, the wattage down low, and that way I can take a slow MTL vape with it, and the cotton lasts about twice as long. I can run two times the amount of juice through it that I was being able to. It just doesn't fry it, doesn't cook it. And I'm well satisfied with the flavor and the vape and all that. And I can just run, but I can run two times the amount of juice through it. Uh, but I found out that, of course, I make my own uh, the regular Clapton wire, and it's Canthal inside and out. It's all Canthal. It's a little harder. It seems like it's doesn't. It's a little harder to vape like that if you. Now nichrome would probably work okay. If you had nichrome, but I don't have any nichrome wire. Mine's either stainless steel or Canthal. It's a little harder to do it with this stuff. Like I do have some Clapton I made up with a stainless steel inner core and Canthol around the outside. It just don't seem to want to work as quite as well as the regular if both of them are Canthol. You know. Yeah, right now I think I'm using a 26 inner wire and some 34 around the outside. And that's just because I ran out of 36, and I think I had some 40 at one time. I think I had some 40 nichrome at one time that worked really good. Kind of hard to work with because it's so small, but it worked good. But I ran out. I just hadn't ordered any more. I'm just trying to use up what I got. So I'm down to 34 for the outside wrap. I don't have nothing against nichrome. I mean, to me, I can't tell any difference as far as taste or any of that stuff. And it doesn't bother me. I ain't allergic to nickel or nothing. So I'm just trying to use what I got. I got so much I might kick the bucket before I ever get it used up. I'll probably be dead 5 years and still have nicotine in the freezer. My wife will be my wife will be watching my videos on how to mix liquids so she can mix her some juice. She did that one time. She was uh, off at the casino spending the night. And for some reason, I didn't go. Anyhow, her, what did she have back in them days? Oh, she had an Amit, which is damn good. I mean, damn good MTL, or even a restricted direct lung, a tank. Damn good thing. Damn good little tanks. Anyhow, she needed to change her cotton. And instead of calling me and get me to walk her through it, she just whooped up on YouTube and watched my review for it and saw how to do it, because she always kept some cotton strips and whatnot in her little vape pouch when you'd go somewhere. So, all right, Josh, we ain't gonna be on too much longer. I didn't plan on being much longer than an hour today, anyhow. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you in Chuck's room tonight if you come by. Or Chuck's show, rather. Yeah, Brett, everybody was, God knows how many years ago it was now. Everybody was making fun of me back when I was buying gallons of nicotine and bottling them up and putting them in the deep freeze. Only thing I bought lately is some VG and PG and a few flavorings. I bought up a bunch of the regular normal flavorings, you might call it. Yeah, I think it was 2016. I labeled it all with dates and everything and what it was, and I think the big bottles of nicotine have 2016 on them. And it's still great. I mean, it's fine. clear and tastes fine and works fine, you know. The main one, I prefer the TFA, but I have used Flavor West, and I can't really tell a whole lot of difference in it because the Red Hots has went through an evolution over the years, and because the very first the TFA, the very first Red Hots they did was suspended in alcohol. It was an alcohol based flavoring, and back in the day, a lot of the flavorings were alcohol based, and because it doesn't like it doesn't mix with everything real good. But then they changed later on. They changed. And I think the only way you can get it now is a PG. But I do have some Flavor West, and the taste is I can't tell the difference. Yeah, Adrian, I understand where you're coming from, buddy. I really do, and I have to admit, I'm kind of one of the people you're referring to there, because I don't even hardly ever even try to when I see somebody smoking, I don't even anymore. I almost don't even bother trying to convince them they should try vaping. You know, every great once in a while I will, and every time lately. Now, back in the day, I converted a bunch of people over to vaping, and but nowadays, every time it won't be just strangers on the street. It'll be people I kind of know, not like best friends, but it'll be people I kind of know, and I'll say, have you tried vaping? Because I'll see them, they'll go outside to smoke or whatever, and they burn a path. I mean, they just burn a damn path by you, and go out and smoke every now and then. Where I'm at, I can vape, and I'll ask them, oh, I can't do that. Okay, that's all I got to say. Okay. Mm. Mm. But yeah, so I've actually gotten to the point I don't even try to convert people anymore, you know. But there, at first I did, I converted a lot of people, but nowadays I don't even. I've just kind of either got burnt out, give up on people, or whatever. And the bad part is, it's amazing how many people believe the propaganda. Just believe any and every damn thing they hear, except you. They won't believe you, but they'll believe any other Joe Blow dumbass on TikTok or YouTube or what the fuck ever. They'll believe them, but they don't believe you, and they'll believe everything they see on TV. Oh, if it's on TV, it's got to be the truth. Well, God damn, what year are you living in? We ain't listening to Walter Cronkite no more. It's like, these people have no scruples whatsoever, and you're believing them. It's like, damn, think for yourself. I think you could blame the salt nicks. I think you could blame what I would blame them for is the kids, underage or young people, whichever way you want to put it, people that never smoked. Uh, for them vaping, I think you could blame the Nick salts on that because it made it easy. It made it easy and painless, you might say, to vape. Just like smoking. I mean, the first time you actually inhaled a cigarette, you coughed your ass off. Then you got used to it. And for some reason, and that's the way millions and millions of people did it. But it was okay. But now when it comes to vaping, oh, I tried that. I coughed. It made me cough. Well, what the hell did that cigarette do to you back 30 years ago? But yeah, the Nick salts just made it too painless, you might say. Be a best way to phrase it, I think. So I'll give them the blame for that. But kids are going to be kids. I don't care. They're going to, some of them are going to experiment with everything and get their hands on, And depending on, how good your parenting is, depends on how far down that rabbit hole they go, or the people they hang around. That's, back in my day, that was 90% of it. If none of the kids you hung around with smoked, then you didn't smoke, But if they smoked, odds are you were going to smoke. You were going to give it a try. It's just the way it is. And I don't know how many people I see them smoking, and I said, well, have you tried vaping? Oh, that's worse than smoking. Yeah, damn, really? I just kind of threw my hands up. I just, I'm out, I'm done. Hell, that was one time. I tell you what surprised me more than anything. Because last week on the live, we were talking about that douchebag that was on whatever hell show that was the other day, spouting off all those lies and absolutely ignorance, that kid. And but one time, how many years ago? This has been many, many years ago. It just totally blew my mind. We had went back to Texas to visit, and I was over at a friend's garage that used to race when I drag raced. He was part of the team, and him and another guy was there. And he's sitting there just fucking puffing on Marlboro Reds like they weren't gonna make anymore. And I had my little vape, and back in them days, I mean, this was what I had was a damn Pro Tank 2. That's how long ago this was, And he says, "Oh, you're doing that now?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's a lot better for you, a lot cheaper." And I showed him how it worked and everything, explained to him how it worked. He says, "Yeah." He said, "I was kind of thinking about trying that, but if you do that around here, people call you a pussy." And I'm going, that just totally blew me away. I'm going, what damn reasoning could you have there or anything? This was years ago. This was before the douchebags ever got on TikTok. It was probably before TikTok, as far as that goes. And hell, it was before YouTube almost, I think. Before it got popular anyhow. Yeah, he said, if you do that around here, and this was in Central Texas, he said, yeah, if you do that around here, everybody thinks you're a pussy. And I'm going, what? How the hell could you make that connection there? It just blew me away. I said, well, okay. when you get time, write down what you want me to say at your eulogy, and I'll get up and, say a few words for you. So go right ahead. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, Brett. And did you see Grimm's latest video? He's because this old boy, it wasn't Tim Pool, it was his guest. It was the little douchebag guest he had that he done doubled down on Twitter on everything he said instead of trying to do the right thing and confessing the truth. He's done double down on all the bullshit he rattled off. makes him makes him look real fucking stupid. Of course, his million mindless following sheep probably believe every damn word comes out of his mouth. But yeah, there's a lot of people I've talked to, Brett, that say they believe the propaganda. I mean, wholeheartedly believe it, that vaping is worse than smoking, and it's funny. I've actually had convinced 2 doctors now because they believed the propaganda, and just by checking my lungs and checking my oxygen level and all that shit, they've had to come around to say, well, I guess it is better than smoking. They didn't want to at all. I mean, they wanted to believe the propaganda, but after seeing unrefutable proof with their own eyes, they had to come around. And I've done 2 that way so far. Yeah, that's just like there's a big I don't know what calling it a conspiracy is not really the proper terminology, but the FDA is. I mean, we know the FDA is crooked because of the way the vapors got treated, and we know what they're like. Okay, well, they're not just like that on vaping. There are several other categories that the FDA is crooked in, and of course, to us, it's no big surprise. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could, throw them. But so to us, it's no big surprise. But everybody else, they still trust them. Oh, it's FDA approved. Well, whoop-de-fucking do, I mean, we know how crooked they are on vaping just because it got done to us personally, and but they're that way on several different other things that are totally unrelated to vaping, and I don't have any problem believing it at all, or not trusting them at all because of the way they did us. Yeah, it's all about the money, and a lot of this other stuff that I'm referring to, and it could be even like vaping. It seems like Canada's starting to come around slowly to believing the science, but it'll be 10 years down the road before the FDA will slowly start turning around, because they will not just turn over a new leaf and say, "Oh shit, we were wrong." They ain't gonna say that. They're not gonna say that. And that's the way they are with all the rest of the stuff. The same way. They won't just, you can just take the pure unrefutable science and slap them in the face with it, and they will not turn over a new leaf and say, "Oh shit, we were wrong. We need to start doing this." They're not going to do that. Yeah, Brett, if you didn't catch last week's replay, uh, my biggest thing on that Tim Pool thing was, to me, I mean, the lies, you hear them every damn day. You kind of get immune to all that, you know, not really lies, but just totally misinformed bullshit, uh, or lies, depending on, whether he knew the truth or not. But what got me was the hypocrisy of this douchebag calling me a douche fluter. And I didn't even have a clue what the hell a douche fluter was. But it just seemed to be a little hypocrisy there. That's what got off with me more than him spewing out his ignorance. Oh, you're doing fine, man. You're doing fine. Hell, I'm that way when I'm in somebody else's on somebody else's show. I don't chat that much at all. The main reason because I don't type worth a shit is the reason I don't chat much. Yeah, well, that's the way they are. They just, they don't want to upset. I think this old boy might have been. I don't know if he was more famous than them or not, but you don't want to upset your famous, your YouTube or TikTok famous person. You don't want to upset your guest and call them a total idiot on air, because then they may not come back, and you won't get the clicks. And you might have to go out and get a real fucking job and do real manual labor, to get paid. So, so you know. I think believe it or not, even though I'm sitting right here on YouTube live at the moment, I'm a firm believer that the social media is not a good thing. Even though I'm sitting right here live using it, even though none of my shit's monetized, none of it. I think the social media is not a good thing. I really don't. I think it has more harm than good. I really do. As a whole, not just on vaping, but kind of as a whole, I think it does more harm than good. I really do. That's the only reason I do this. I enjoy doing it, and hopefully my reviews will give somebody a little bit of knowledge. Let them see something. If they're trying to make a decision, help them. Give them some information so they can make a good decision. But yeah, I never did do the monetized thing, and never will. Because even back when I first started my channel, even back in them days, if you wanted to be monetized, you had to jump through an enormous amount of hoops. And I read all the fine print, and I said, nope, not for me. Sorry. And if they ever take away the free shit, well, then I just won't do it anymore. But yeah, I never did go for the monetized deal. Never did do the Patreon thing or the membership thing or any of that bullshit. Just not me. Just not me. I got a good friend that he does the coin rings that I do and sell at the market I go to. And he is really, I mean, he's balls to the wall in there about building up his channels and shit, you know, and I mean, does a hell of a lot of work and puts in a lot of hours, you know, to do all that. Yeah. I think he enjoys it. Well, that's great. You know, I'm not one of them people. So where were you? I think you might have said it, Brett. Where are you located? Just tell me the state. You don't have to tell me the name of the town if you don't want to. Well, hell. You know, Missouri. Yeah, that's right. You said something about that, while ago. Yeah. Uh, that's not the one. I've been to Missouri. I've been to St. Louis once. I know. I think that's the only time. I don't know. I couldn't tell you if I passed through Springfield on the way or not. Oh, no, no, no. I don't live in Texas anymore. I live in Arizona. And, you know, as the crow flies out here, I'm closest one. I'm close to Angel, but 3 hours away. So, it's kind of close out here. I don't even remember. It's been so many years ago. I don't even remember the interstate I went up out there. But when I did live in Texas, I was only probably about an hour and a half from where I think Chuck is. I was a little north of him. I was in Central Texas. He's almost in South Texas, you might say. But he was about 90 minutes probably south of where I lived to get to where he's at. Well, hello, Nicholas. How you doing, buddy? Uh, to be honest with you, I don't have the only current one I have was that clone I did, that Jay Hakes clone, and it worked good. But before that, I would have to say uh, the let me look here. I can tell you. I think it was. Let me look because I always get these mixed up. These are old ones. I don't even know if you can buy these anymore. Because I dug myself out of the billet box rabbit hole, and here years ago. Hold on a second, and I'll tell you. the Zeta. I had to, yeah, there's two of those, the Haku Zetas. They were real good. I liked them. I don't even think you can buy them anymore. But any of them, the J. Hayes clone was, it was good, but eventually it did like all the rest of them I have. You know, they call it condensation. I call it leaking. You know, you got a little bit of juice on the backside of your tank. You know, if you took your tank out, the backside was wet. Every one I have does that. So that one did it too. But it vaped good. And it had a real unique airflow because what it ended up being, by the time the air actually hit the coil, it was a side airflow. So I thought it was really kind of the way he went about, you know, around the world to get it there. Because, you know, you can't just do shit like you can do with a tank with a damn RBA for a Boral. But you ended up having side airflow on both sides. And it vaped really well, you know. And of course, the clone, I mean, they're fairly cheap. So, but I mean, it, you know, and what did I think? I think I ended up with I don't even remember. You'll have to watch the video. I either put a 3 or 2.5 coil in it. And, you know, I had as much cotton as you could get inside that coil. And, you know, if you, a lot of people say, well, you know, if you'd have wicked it right, it wouldn't have leaked. I'd have had to add cotton and not inside the coil. I'd have had to pile some cotton on the outside to get any more cotton in the little juice channel, juice holes, or whatever you want to call them. You know, so, you know, but like I say, all of them eventually, to me, do that. Eventually, every one I've gotten, didn't matter what style it was, who made it, or whatever, even the design, you know. All right, Adrian, thanks for coming in, buddy. We're not going to be here too much longer. Everyone I've ever had eventually does that. Maybe I don't know how to wick any of them. That's kind of what turns me off on those, because I've never had one that actually wouldn't eventually leak. You know, when they very first came out with that Cthulhu, I wanted to buy one of those, but the price never came down decent. I don't know why I wanted to buy one. Impulse buy, I guess, but when they very first come out with those, I wanted one. And I'll tell you one that I kind of wanted till I saw the price of it. Was that the Havoc? I think that's what it was called. No notes. I don't remember. Anyhow, it's the new little thing out now. It's that, I believe it's the Havoc. But it's the one that comes with the tank that you can put an RBA in the tank and then put it on a normal mod. That one, it's fairly new. There's, you know, people are just reviewing it. But the little RBA it come with looked interesting. It was different, you know, kind of different than how it wicked, you might say. But they were a little too high, and they had plastic threads on the tank, and it was just a little bit too much for what it was. You know, if it had been, say, $41, I might have picked one up, but yeah, I think it was like 53 or something like that. It was just a little bit too high. Although it was, you know which one I'm talking about. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. And the bad part is most people, a lot of the damn reviewers, they don't even mention that, or they don't. Well, now I'm talking about the Brett. I'm talking about the one that's fairly new. Just a little. It's a little tank that you can put an RBA for a Boro in, and you get their little uh, RBA section, or you can either put it in a Boro tank or you can put it in their tank, and you can put some other RBAs in their little tank. And it looked really interesting. I was really tempted till I saw the price, and then between the price and the plastic threads on the tank, it just turned me off a little bit. But the bad part about the Boros getting some liquid behind the tank, people just have written that off as normal. And I'm like, it's not normal. This shouldn't be. You shouldn't say this is normal. But they write it off as normal. Because when it all boils down to, it's really no different than just a normal RTA, and my RTA tanks don't leak. You can call it our condensate or any of that shit. They're dry as a bone. That's the way they're supposed to be. Just because and it's basically the same all around design. I mean, you got a wick, you got a coil, you got airflow at the bottom. What the hell, I got a slew of those tanks designed like that. They don't look a bit. Seep, dampness, nothing. So why can't these be the same way? These should be the same way, but most reviewers just write that off. Oh yeah, and you can see it because when they're showing it to you, they've been vaping on it a while, okay, and they want to take it apart and show it to you, and they got to beat the damn thing out because the juice has got it stuck to the back of the damn billet box, and they just act like that's normal. Well, in reality, it might be normal for a billet box, but it ain't a good thing. Yeah, but they just write it off as, well, this is just normal for a billet box. Well, why? It's a wick. I mean, it's a coil. Wick going through the center, air hole at the bottom. Well, come on. I got a slew of tanks that are designed exactly like that don't leak a bit. Well, guys, I think we have rambled on for almost 2 hours now. I think we beat this dead horse about all we can today. And I don't know. It's going to be, I'm going to try to keep doing these. It's starting to come up on my market season. And I can probably, I got to start as soon as the weather gets, or the temperature warms up just a hair out here. I got to start working out in the garage to get my inventory built up for this year. And but I think we can still maybe have some shows, and hopefully, if we might even get some new hardware if they ever get around to having something decent at a decent price. but I've done a pretty good job restraining myself from impulse buys lately, because you can only pile so much shit up on your shelves, you know. So anyhow, I think we're going to end it here today. I want to thank everybody for coming in chat. Thanks for tuning in, just watching the show. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. If you have any comments, I think you can comment on a replay live. I think so. If you want to comment there, you know. But thanks for coming by. I don't see a problem at the moment having another show next week. So same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you later.